That's really going to be the gatekeeper that you're going to use to advance within that faction. All right, next slide, please, Phil. So we'll talk a player who's joined a mercenary unit. He's essentially, effectively, a mercenary player as well. However, they've chosen to band together with other like-minded, crazy people who love to play this game. What was that? Oh, that was something funny. All right, who's crazy here? Who's got an awesome unit?
I'm crazy.
That's the entire room. All right. So as you can see on the slide, these are a group of players who have a common goal. They've banded together. They're a band of brothers, if you will. That's right. You are employed by the Merc Corps, so you inherit the Merc Corps pledges and who they're fighting for, and their status. So you are still independent, and you're still a lone wolf, but you will inherit the status of your Merc unit. Prestige comes through contracts. I'm going to talk a little bit about contracts. So it's all based around loyalty points, but how a mercenary unit and a mercenary player earn loyalty points is through contracts. All right, skip to the next slide, Phil. It's drifting lower and lower. What was that? Talk. All right. So let's talk a bit about contracts. You know, we talked about this about 2 years ago that we wanted to have a contract system, and it instills fear in our engineering team.
Excellent.
So we want to make sure that it was something that wasn't going to cause us to have to recreate eBay, because there would be some kind of auction house and there would be a bidding war and all that kind of stuff. So what we did is we made contracts a personal matter. This is something that you do as the individual, or as you're in a Merc unit as one of the leaders who's entitled to actually try to acquire a contract. So now non-faction players, so non-loyalist players, will have access to these contracts. There'll be a very simple menu in the game, and there'll be a series of types of contracts that you'll be able to do, and you'll be able to earn rewards, EXP, loyalty points, and C-bills, and there'll be a set of goals that you'll have to achieve in order to accomplish these contracts. All right, the result is some nice rewards, and once you've earned enough loyalty points, you'll be able to get better and better contracts. So the more loyal you are to a faction, the better contracts you'll get from that faction, and the better rewards that will come. You can take on as many contracts as you want. There won't be a limit, but like any contract, there are rules. So if you fail to fulfill that contract in a timely manner, you might receive a penalty. So we haven't fully designed that part yet, but expect a lot of depth in the contract system. All right, we're going to talk about a couple specific types of contracts that we have. So we have Planetary Assault, which is a mercenary unit contract to acquire and occupy enemy territory in the form of planets. All right, and then jump in a little bit to that. There are skirmish contracts where a group of players will skirmish against another group of players, and that will be a contract. And then there are bounty contracts. Now this is where the fun is going to come from, because this is player-created contracts. That's right. So now, when you, that's right. So contract to kill Mr. Ekman
Random note, I think I'm
on the field of battle. That's right.
I have a feeling I'm
Phil
going
and
to get a bounty on
Darren,
me.
and absolutely hell yes, Paul and Garth. That little runt cicada pilot that drives me bananas. He can have a bounty placed on him. All right. So see, Paul here, he's playing Tetris or something down here, and he's freaked out because he's like, "Oh crap, thanks, Brian. Now I'm gonna have bounties on my head." That's right. So bounties will be the player-driven contracts, and also NPC contracts as well. We'll generate them automatically for certain types of players. All right. Next slide, Phil. I like that. All those legendary folks we love so much. All right, let's talk about loyalty points. Loyalty points are the heart of faction play and a big part of community warfare. Earning loyalty points. Right? What? It's okay. See, it's a slide and needed. I love Davian. I just couldn't give him special treatment. Okay, it's all right. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So As you can see, as the slide's going, you see that there's 5, not 6. I know. Potty, our new graphics guy, was in here. He's still learning the ropes. Okay, so anyways, there's 5. There's 5 factions on here, and as you can see, it's a bar. And if you've ever played games like EverQuest or World of Warcraft or any of those games where you had to grind out loyalty, it's similar but not the same. There's no penalties. You'll never go negative. But you do have to earn reputation within individual factions to unlock ranks and content. All right, so some of the content will be skins, patterns, and the right to be a part of some of those famous units that you so want to be a part of. And I'll talk a bit about what those units will be like later. But loyalty points will be earned by doing actions within the matches, and like EXP and C-bills, it'll be performance-based. We have introduced boosters in the Phoenix program that will enhance the rate at which you can earn loyalty points. So I encourage you guys to get that because it's going to make a difference. And a little bit more about just how loyalty works for the faction. And I'm going to get to that in a sec, but we'll skip to the next slide here. So faction unit structure. So this is going to be your think of any famous unit that exists within the lore. We're going to create them for you, and we're going to set a structure and a metagame that allows you to earn reputation within those and gain access to them. Membership in these factions, like it says up there, is earned by getting certain loyalty points and doing certain achievements. So we have another system that sits parallel that overarches with, like similar to Community Warfare, overarches the entire game, and this is the achievement system. And these achievements with Garth, if he's around here, is having fun designing, so you can blame him if they suck, but no. Is he hiding over there? He is. Yeah, he's over. Yeah. So these achievements, in conjunction with loyalty points, will determine what kind of units you can get access to. It's just the first tip of the iceberg. We actually want to allow players to create faction units. So this would be like Merc units, but you would actually be a faction unit. So it would be a player-run faction unit. That's going to come a little bit later because we're still trying to figure out a few mechanics there. Once you've earned access to these units, you'll be part of a new group of players, and you'll be able to fight with your unit mates for part of the INNERSPHERE. If you ever leave a faction, you will maintain your honorary status, which is really cool. So no matter what, you'll maintain your progress within that faction. And I kind of use this analogy on the podcast, which I like. There's a certain dog-like unit that comes into the INNERSPHERE and visits most of the INNERSPHERE and works for many of the factions. And I won't say what it is. And how you would gain access to Wolf's Dragoon and earn the right to wear their colors, you'd have to achieve maximum rank in every faction. And then you unlock access to Wolf Dragoon. And then you can be part of Wolf's Dragoon. So this is the kind of stuff we're going to be able to do with the faction units. Alright, mercenary unit structure. This is all about you guys. Okay. Player created, organized, and structured. We're going to give you a robust set of tools to make your own ranks, form your own lances, your own companies, your own regiments, and as big as you want to go with your team, you can organize it in any way, shape, or form. You can set privileges, ranks, you can set access to different types of content, so who's allowed to bid on contracts, who's allowed to do your logistics, who's allowed to move things around, who's allowed to do orders, all that stuff's in your control. So, yeah. You will earn rewards as a group, and you will set your taxes as a group, all right? So it's up to you, all right? Yeah, that's right, taxes, you heard me. Mercenary leaders, you know what I'm talking about, okay? You know you gotta fund the war, right? And I'll explain why that's gonna, that's right. Yeah. You got representation. Yeah. You will own common assets, and some of the assets those mercenary corps can have are drop ships and other cool stuff. Yeah. So, and bases. You will be able to upgrade bases on the planets you control. Alright, so so more of it, I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but there's some really cool stuff. Alright, next slide, please. I will talk about bases later. Alright, Faction unit combat will replace what you experience right now in the puck matches. So every single match that is played in MechWarrior Online will have a purpose. So you, again, unless it's a private match, which I won't talk about today. But, I didn't say private matches. What was that, private matches? No. Private match, go. Phil. Alright, technical difficulties. Alright, so, mercenary unit logistics. Who's the logistics person here? Who loves to manage stuff? Alright, okay. So, INNERSPHERE is a giant chess game. You have stuff, drop ships. You have players. You have units. These units need to be moved around. They have to go from A to B, and that takes time. You are going to get in your dropship, and then you're going to get on a jump ship, and it's going to take you a number of days to get to the planet you want to attack. Once you're there, you have to garrison that planet. If you don't, it flips back to neutral status, and you will lose the bonuses that it gives you. So now, for all those people who want to do logistics and want to manage their units and have a strategy as to where they are in the universe, you will be able to do that. Alright, how do you take over a planet? First phase, get your unit there. So, you have to travel through space from your home planet to the target planet. Once your unit is in place, you will be able to get a contract for that planet. If you are eligible because you have enough loyalty points as a Merc unit to actually get that contract. So, once you get to the planet and you can actually assault it, you will go through a series of matches with an attacker and a defender, and the results, whoever wins, the attacker or defender, will then flip that planet and take occupation of that planet. You will then have to garrison it, like I mentioned before, and that garrison will remain there indefinitely. Alright, next slide. Faction warfare. So this is what I talked about earlier. Every single match has a reference now, a meaning, a purpose. We're going to be, every single planet that you, every single match will add or remove 1 point to a planet. So we're going to see a little animation here. You are fighting for fronts. There is a home front and an enemy front. You will control the home front to start with, and you will be fighting for the enemy front. So the red is what you're going after. As you fight and win matches and earn 1 point for every victory on a specific planet, once that planet reaches 100 points, it flips. Once enough planets flip, you now own that front. And all the bonuses and benefits that come with those planets. Alright, so this is what you will be participating in every time you play a match. Every single match will affect the state of this universe. Alright, so now you need to play a certain way, and there's a strategy in which maps you pick or vote upon, because those will determine which planets are going to flip. So there's going to be strategy, even for the average casual player, there'll be a little bit of strategy in how they place their vote for which planet they want to flip. Once the planet flips, and enough flip again, that is your front. And once 100% of that front's yours, you now own all the items that come from there, and all the content, and all the good stuff. You see the red planets behind that. Faction players and Merc players have to play nice. For the Merc units to gain contracts in the space where you see the red dots, you guys, the faction players, need to control both fronts. So contracts can't be issued for that territory until both fronts are controlled. So again, a little bit of chess, a little bit of strategy, and a lot of teamwork is going to be required for you to control the maximum territory. So, as you can see, this is what you're fighting for. The INNERSPHERE. 3,000 plus planets, of which we will make as many as possible available to you to fight for. We'll start small and we'll get it right, and then we'll let you get more and more stuff. So what's at stake here? Stuff? Yeah, the stuff that's at stake here is coming up in another slide. But it's all about economics at the end of the day. It's about prices, it's about black market goods, it's about access to items and mechs and different types of equipment. If you lose a planet that your mech is built on, you're in hot water, because now that mech is no longer produced for you, and you have to buy it off the black market. So, yes, that's right. So prices will fluctuate, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit. There's going to be global bonuses, which I touched on. So as a faction player, it's really important for you to own as much territory as possible, because you will get a benefit. So it's important to play well together, and you get access to the cheapest prices if you own the most amount of territory. And I mean, of course, there's always bragging rights. I mean, who's the best faction? Davian. That's right. Well, Merc, maybe. I think Davian's pretty good. It's either Davian or Curator, right? No? Curator? No? Yeah, there we go. Okay, next slide. All right, so let's talk about economics. All right, so here's a little bit about economics. And Paul's quaking in his boots, and about 4 engineers back home are about to pass out. So, pricing will vary based on faction relationships. So, if you're in Davian and you like your Victor, you're in luck. All right. If you happen to be in Kurita, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're probably not going to get access to that unit, that mech very easily. So you're going to have to buy it for a little bit more of a premium. Black market prices. There will be common mechs. Yeah. We're going to play on the lore. We're going to use the lore to our advantage here, but that will be the starting point, and then it's going to be up to you guys to figure out what you care about and what you're going to go after. So if you're going to go after certain types of mech factories or certain type of item factories, that's how you're going to get the prices lower. There's special items too, which I'm not going to talk about today, but I'm going to tease the hell out of you.
That's not very nice.
Oh, but you know me, I'm not a very nice person, right? Okay. But there is going to be special content associated with owning these planets. We're still deciding what that's going to be, and in fact, it's more about you guys, so we're going to interact with you after this presentation for the next several weeks. Paul's laughing, so we're going to be interacting with the community to decide exactly what's meaningful to you. All right, next plan. All right, so let's talk a little bit about delivery. 3 phases of how community warfare is going to be delivered. You have association. This is the concept of being a part of something or not. So this is the very first slide I talked about, the different lives. We will be delivering the first phase of community warfare to you that will allow you to join and create Merc Corps, be a mercenary, have a level, which is a new meta game, so you can actually be able to level up to level 60 and gain access to advanced content through that leveling system. You'll also, it's 60 for now until Paul says something else, but and be able to work together as a unit. So this is where you guys can actually band together, you can communicate together, you can play together, and you're represented as a unit. All right, so that's the first phase. Second phase, front warfare. Frontal warfare is the faction play. That's the pub play aspect of our game. That'll come in next, where we allow every single match to affect the universe. This includes the lobby, which will have your dropship that you come to every match with and allow you to have up to 4 mechs to select from. It'll also allow you to vote on the map, and it'll also allow you to pre-configure your lances if you're a commander and organize. So this is the pre-lobby that will happen in the front end. Phase 3 is the big battles, the planetary assaults. This is where the Merc units are going to go after the content. This is where you're going to go capture those planets. So that's the last phase. It's going to take us about 6 months to roll these out. Okay, and they're going to be happening as soon as UI 2.0 is delivered. You'll get the first phase really close after that. So, with that in mind, I thought I'd tease a little bit of what's coming in the next 4 weeks. And I'm going to get Phil to show you something cool.
Where's my marauder?
And what we're looking at here is UI 2.0. As you can see, we have our framework up and running. I took this video on Tuesday, just before I came down here. I'm just demonstrating some of the new UI functionality in terms of sorting and looking at your mechs and the different list views that we have and how details are there. And in about a second here, I'm going to show you something that all EVE players have requested forever. Did you see that? Did you see it? Did you miss it? Rotate in any view. Yay! So I'm just going through a few things here, showing the different mechs and the different loadouts. So you'll be able to sort. Did it pause?
Yeah, looks like
Sorry, the feed paused here for a second. I hate that mech. That's an ugly mech. It's a brutal mech. Oh, sorry. It's a stealth fighter with legs. Come on. Seriously, right? Am I not right? A stealth fighter with legs. Okay, here we go. Back on track now. All right, so as you can see, I'm going through the different filters. This is the framework for the entire UI. We standardized the list view, which is critical. How many people are sick of going to 5 screens and having to learn 5 ways to do it? Yes, all right, so that's what we fixed with this. There's a common interface for looking at items, weapons, equipments, pilot skills. Everything is done in a very similar list view like you see here. You'll see a little button up in the left corner there next to all. There's 6 dots and then a list. You can actually turn this grid view into a list, horizontal list view that'll show you the details of your mech in a horizontal list. So for those guys who don't need to see as many mechs or don't own that many mechs, you can change the view inside of that in that list view. It's elegant, it's clean, it's fast, and it's a hell of a lot less buggy than our original one. Yeah. Woo! That's right. So now you go. It's 2.5 minutes of me rotating mechs, but I thought you'd get a kick out of it. We're going to be mech. I wanted to show some of the loadout. It wasn't quite ready yet. I didn't feel like it was good enough to show you guys because the items weren't loading. I know, but it won't. I'll do more of a dev video where I kind of just have you look at my ugly mug and I'll show you. Yeah. So we'll show more of it in the coming weeks. And like I said, we want to get it to public test as soon as possible. So once we can actually customize your mech, which we're really close to having, we'll probably start doing some PTRs. So you can rename mechs. That's right. Yeah, I know. Testing's going to come really fast, but we have to get to a certain state. So, all right. So as you can see, we got drop-down filters, owned, not owned, by weight class, and there's going to be more and more filters that are all data driven, so we can add them very easily. There's been a ton of user feedback on the screens we posted, so we'll make sure to incorporate all of that into what we're doing here. So, yeah. Yes. Oh, configs, loadouts. No, not loadouts. But I am working on a unified API so that you can bring your loadouts in from outside the game.
Yeah!
So we are working at standardizing the XML format so that even our website can display the data easily. So that's one thing that's in the future vision, and this new UI can allow us to do. Can mechs share parts? No, you still have to take them off. Sorry. But we're making it easier to take them off. What's that? Solaris Skunkworks. So the brand, sorry. Not yet. I don't know if we will be able to do that though.
Is out of game going to be full screen?
That of your desktop. And it scales dynamically. It's full screen. It's small screen. It's big screen. It's widescreen. It's whatever you want. I have it on triple monitors and it stretches beautifully. So, you know. What's that? Bring back in that. Okay, so that concludes my speech today. So you got a little bit of a glimpse. Oh, come on. I can't stay up here all night. We have to stay on schedule, so I really appreciate you coming out. And I just want to give everybody here a big hand. You guys did awesome. Let's hear it for Brian and Wes. Thank you so much from everybody at PGI for being our players and being our community. We love you.
Yeah!
Giant robots.
All right, so we are back. Obviously, a lot of little details in that presentation. Holy crap, I'm sure I'm going to have to take the time to rewatch this video just to dissect every single thing that Brian was basically just talking about. But obviously, Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 3 of Community Warfare, he talked about basically being a lone wolf, being a merc or a loyalist, and all of that implies you guys got to see UI 2.0 Basically, like I said, he just took the footage like on Tuesday, and he's going to be doing more. So, you know, to everyone out there, again, more is coming.